On the occasion of the first anniversary of the Al-Aqsa flood operation, Palestinian resistance movements assured that they will continue the fight to free their lands from Israeli occupation. From Syria, teleSUR correspondent Hisham Wanus with the details.
Hello,
colleagues. Greetings, kind audience. The Palestinian resistance movements on the first anniversary of the genocidal Israeli war on the Palestinian people assured on Monday that it is also the first anniversary of the Al-Aqsa flood operation. So they issued a communique in which they granted the Palestinian resistance will indeed continue fighting off the Israeli occupation until they reach victory. They further stated their heroic operation has responded to the occupying measures as Judaizing Al-Quds and Al-Aqsa Mosque, in addition to normalizing ties with the Arab Islamic countries. This operation has been a defeat of the enemy conspiracies, since Palestinian movements returned the war to its true reality and put an end to the expanding plans of both the Zionist regime and the United States in the region in the Islamic and Arab world. Therefore, the Palestinian resistance factions ensured the Zionist occupation regime had to return to its true real possessions, and in this context, they noted that resistance movements are the strategic option to counter the enemy conspiracies. Furthermore, the Palestinian resistance groups asserted that they are in good position, highlighting that the coordination on all war axes and the supporting fronts remain strong, while holding Israel and the United States accountable for the ongoing massacre and ethnic cleansing against the Palestinians. So they promised that severe punishment awaits them. They further recalled that a year passed by since Israel launched its ongoing brutal war on the Gaza Strip. Moreover, the Palestinian Ministry of Health announced that the Israeli occupation troops have perpetrated 3 massacres in the Gaza Strip in the last 20 hours, leaving 45 civilian deaths and 256 wounded, amounting the death toll since the onset of the Israeli aggression against Gaza to 41,870 fatalities, including 17,000 children and 11,000 women, in addition to nearly 100,000 injured, some of them serious, marking them for life, such as amputations. Likewise, the lack of adequate medical assistance due to the siege of the Israeli occupation has worsened the situation of many wounded and have prevented others to be saved. While an undetermined number of victims are still under the rubble, since ambulances and rescue teams are facing hurdles on the roads, being unable to reach them or save them. They further added that the Israeli army, in the course of its brutal aggression on Gaza, has killed 986 members of the health sector. It has destroyed 130 ambulances, in addition to putting out of service 23 hospitals out of the 38 hospitals in the Gaza Strip. It is noteworthy to remark that in this context, the world is rising up against the Israeli occupation and calling for an end to the genocidal Israeli offensive against the Palestinian people. Therefore, numerous demonstrations have been held both in Prague and in the Czech Republic, and the Communist Party of Czechoslovakia organized a solidarity rally for the Palestinian people at Peace Square and against the brutal Israeli aggression on Gaza, Lebanon, and Syria. Thousands of people also gathered in the Spanish city of Barcelona in rejection of the crimes of ethnic cleansing and the extermination war of the Israeli occupation on the Palestinians. Moreover, thousands of Turks took to the streets in Ankara, the capital of Turkey, and in Istanbul to show their strong support for the oppressed Palestinian people. The outraged demonstrators really raised their voices, urging the international community to stop the massive massacre of Palestinians by the Zionist occupation regime. Meanwhile, on this anniversary of Israel's genocidal war on the Palestinian people in Gaza and the West Bank, Thousands of Israeli settlers have gathered in front of the residence of the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to protest against his handling of the conflict with the Palestinians and its consequences, especially with regard to the Israeli hostages held by the Palestinian resistance. As Netanyahu now faces internal and international pressure to end the genocidal war he launched last year on the Gaza Strip, in addition to setting a ceasefire and reaching an agreement with regard to the Israeli hostages and the Palestinian hostages. Nonetheless, the Israeli Prime Minister and his war cabinet refuse all or reject all world calls, refusing to stop the genocidal war on the Palestinian people, causing ongoing destruction and more death in the civilian population, in not only Palestine and Lebanon, but also in Syria, and in an attempt to escalate this war to encompass the whole region in an action that the whole world warns and will have serious aftermaths for international security and stability. This is all the information we have for now. Please go ahead.